Hey, welcome everyone. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're live with us today. We are live all kinds of places these days. Just sometimes it takes a few minutes to get it set up, and technology is not always cooperative. I think we can all relate to that at times. So I'm glad that you're all here. This is every Tuesday night. This is Cosmic Wisdom with Hollis Taylor. And I'll be doing spirit messages and bringing in any of the wisdom from the stars. And yes, I'll do free readings. If you want to post your big three or your chart in the in the comments, of course, if you post your chart, it'll be more accurate. Um, and or you could just tell me your big three, and I'll take a look at it. And then that I'll be looking at your astrology. I am an astrologer. I'm also a medium and a witch, and I do coaching and all kinds of interesting, fun stuff that you can do with me. So I'm glad you're all here. I'm glad everybody's here. And um I would love to hear more about what's going on for you right now. There is an eclipse starting to brew right now. You might be feeling that happening for you right now, and yeah, it it will be in Virgo. I'm sorry, in Pisces, so it will directly affect Pisces and Virgo directly. But it will also be in it also will affect, and it doesn't mean that you have to be a Pisces sun, and that would mean that your birthday was let's just say your birthday is September something. Okay, if you happen to be a Virgo or whatever, it doesn't mean that it only affects those people. Oh, no, because the funny thing about astrology is you have all those pieces, all the zodiac are in your chart. It's just a matter of which ones have planets in them and which ones don't. And that sometimes depends on your chart, or all the time depends on your chart. So you have to take a look. If you're looking to figure out how to find your big three, let me just say that since you're seeing me live today, you can go to my website at divineandrogyne.com, and I just put the link there above my head, and it's in my bio. And you can absolutely go to my website, go to the digital shop, and for just a couple of bucks, I've got a sort of manual on how to print your astrology chart, how to get it, and how to find out what your big three are. I also encourage you to watch my weekly forecast, astrology forecast, so you can keep in tune what's happening with the stars every week. And we'll give my spouse and I, Bright Hawk, will give you a tune in on exactly what that is. Okay, exactly what will be happening each week. And what I'm telling you now is we're gearing up for eclipse season. And eclipse season, well, it'll be different for everyone, but let's just say that song, A Total Eclipse of the Heart, that means it changes. It goes from red to green. It goes from blue to yellow, okay? All of a sudden, something big changes. And so you're in store for some changes coming in September. It will be a slow reveal. Let me say that slowly things are being revealed to you. Maybe you've already become aware of something this past weekend. Today's Tuesday, so it would have been like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday during that black moon that we had. During that black moon, there was definitely some energy trying to push you forward, trying to make you aware of something. Did you become aware of something? Share in the comments if you became aware of something. If something suddenly you became suddenly aware of something. I know I did. Boy, did I. Okay, and so now I'm going in further, and just be aware, you may have thought you know the answer to it or the resolution to the problem, but you might actually be under an illusion. So don't get lost in that. Keep an open mind, and keep mind in that there could be more to the story. Okay, there could be another piece that you're missing. Okay, and you definitely want to check and see if you got anything in Pisces or Virgo, and if there is any planets there, any, you will probably be more profoundly affected by the eclipse. Also, if it's on the left-hand side, if you're looking at a circle chart, there's kind of lines that there's an arrow that points up and down, and then there's another line that points left and right. And on the left-hand side is considered your rising sign. So I just told you how to find your rising. So if you're Virgo or Pisces rising, they're opposite of each other. So that means you're going to experience this most intensely. Okay? Especially if you have any planets there at all. Hey, Tani. Hey, Tani over on Facebook. Great to see you. I'm glad you're here. It's good to have you with me today. And I hear that you would like a reading. Please put something in the comments directly what you would like to know, Tani. Just asking me for a generic reading, you're probably not going to really get what you want. So instead, it would be better if you ask me a specific question, like specifically ask, hey, Hollis, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Like ask me specifically, what do you want to know? And I'll try to help you. Okay. Hey, Mystic Road. Good to see you. Glad you're here. Welcome. Hey, Laura. Hey, Laura on Facebook and Mystic Road on YouTube. Mystic says they're Virgo rising, Sun Sag, Gemini Moon, Scorpio Venus. Okay, Mystic. So right away I say, oh, Virgo rising, this is going to have a lot to do. And I'm not looking at your chart right now, Mystic, but what I will tell you is this will have something to do probably with relationships or your day-to-day life, depending on the degree of that rising. It will definitely be affecting that and probably your self-identity as a result, like who you are and who you see yourself as could also affect your health because Virgo tends to be about wellness. So if you're visiting something like changing your diet or you are having any kind of health things right now, please go to the doctor. Please seek help. It is important to listen to these moments right now. It is important to go to the doctor and listen up. Okay, Mystic Road, good luck. And with the Gemini moon, I just want to point out that we're in a very long transit with Gemini. Uranus entered Gemini a while back, but Gemini during this eclipse will experience a lot of rocks and rolls. So I'm pretty sure, even without looking at your whole chart, Mystic, it's going to be an intense thing for you. I don't know what house Gemini moon is, but I'm just thinking about that for a minute. Could be like maybe the 9th or the 10th house. Could have something to do with your career or your work in the world. Could absolutely have something to do with your day-to-day life and the way you identify regarding work. So if something's going on with work, don't be surprised if something comes up in that regard. Okay, Mystic Road. So especially during this eclipse, technically it starts September the 6th, September the 7th. Uranus will go retrograde first. It is in Gemini right now. It just entered Gemini earlier this year. So if you already kind of felt a little rock in your boat in relation to your emotions and or maybe career or maybe a spiritual awakening or higher learning, depending on if you're in college or if you're in any kind of educational system or anything like that, you may have felt a little rock in the boat. Yeah, well, you're about to revisit it or you'll have to look at that again. Okay, Mystic? Good luck. Good luck. Good luck. I wish you the best. You're welcome to post your exact questions in the comments or, wherever you're seeing me right now. Just, post a direct question. Post it's better if you post a direct question. It's easier for me to answer the question if it's direct, okay? Because if I try to just intuit, it may not be like what you think you want. I can try to intuit and see what I get, but it tends to just be very generic. And I like to be specific, okay? Hey, Savannah, good to see you. Savannah Rose over there in Facebook land and Pedro in YouTube. Hey, Tani. Hey, Sarah. Good to have you with me today. I'm so glad you're here on Facebook. Hey, Bobby. Oh, okay. Bobby said, "It's the first time here was sent here by my girlfriend, Brandy, who's here all the time." Not sure what brandy that is, but maybe it'll come to mind. Maybe she'll pop up and I'll remember. I'm pretty sure there's a couple brandies that tend to frequent my live broadcasts. I'm glad you're here, Bobby. I'm sure something guided you here other than just me. Tani said, I would love a spirit reading. I also printed my chart finally. I'll have to send it to you as I have no idea what I'm looking at. Well, Tani, did you get the document that I sell on my website? You should be going to my website. It's just a couple bucks. You just go there and you download it and it will tell you how to start reading your chart. So that way, when you tune in on the broadcast on Mondays, you have a good idea of what's going on in the astrology. Okay. It's best if you post an image of your chart right here in the comments. I should be able to see it somehow. I'll try to navigate to it. And hey, Mystic Road. Hey, Laura. Laura, big changes for you. Big changes for Geminis coming up in the next 7 to 8 years. It's going to be a slow process, but just want to let you know Uranus is entering your chart. That's big surprises. Don't be surprised, or maybe you will be surprised when something comes up. Uranus often likes to sort of wipe the table clean. So don't be surprised if something like that comes up, okay? Savannah, September the 6th. Whew, we're going to have an intense birthday, let me just say. My birthday is September the 8th, Savannah. Boy, we are in for a ride this eclipse, okay? So that is pretty much going to be a little bit challenging, okay, Savannah? Like, it could be a little bit challenging for us because the eclipse is actually happening opposite our sun. So considering that your birthday is September the 6th, that would probably put your sun almost directly opposite of the eclipse. So if something big changes, Savannah, just hang in there, go slow, do the slow reveal. Be aware that not everything's been revealed yet. I don't know what you were dealing with this past weekend, but I'm going to say it's probably going to be related to whatever happened this weekend. Okay. Bobby Katie said she's a Taurus. Well, Bobby, I will say that Uranus just came out of Taurus, probably warned you on the way out to make a change, but you probably didn't listen. Unless you're a very evolved Taurus. Not likely though. And so then when Uranus can't even evolved Tauruses are not keen to change, honestly. So so what you need to do is adjust the Uranus is headed back to Taurus. It's going to come back and talk to you about something it's been talking to you about on your life journey. It depends on where your sun is. I don't know where your sun is. The sun is what makes you a Taurus, but you also have a whole bunch of other planets and 11 other zodiacs in your sign. And so astrology is so much bigger than your sun sign, you guys. So much bigger. A lot of us are like, oh, I'm a Taurus and I'm an Aries and okay, that's great. But what's your rising sign? Because once you become 30 years old, you are your rising sign. Your rising sign is actually more important, actually. According to most astrologers, most of us believe that we kind of grow into our rising sign. I mean, little kids will express their sun sign totally, but once they become like an adult, they start, especially 30 plus, you become more of your rising sign and less of your sun sign. And I think that that's really important to remember, okay? And then plus your emotions are based on your moon sign. Your Venus tells us about your love language, how you love yourself, how you love others, and what kind of love you like to receive. And Mars tells us how you like to fight. And there's so much more in your chart, so much more. And let me say, I do a free broadcast every Monday about the astrology that's happening. And this week, we just had a black moon. I don't know how your weekend went, but I wouldn't be surprised if something happened probably Thursday, Friday, and you probably were kind of dealing with it over the weekend. Okay. And so that also could be part of it. Okay. And so I'll take a look at it in a minute, Tony. When I get a second, I'll take a look at it. Okay. And I got it. I don't know where it came in, but I seen a notification for it. I'll take a look at your chart. If you do get your astrology chart, you can post it to me and I'll do a quick little mini reading for you. If you post it in the comments, it's just an image. You could just save it as a JPEG or take a screenshot or whatever works for you. Go ahead and post it for me and I'll take a quick look at it. Okay. And I'll try to tell you how that eclipse will mess with you. And I know that the eclipse will affect most of us and in some way. And we'll probably be dealing with some stuff this month in this September. If you're not aware of it, take a look at the government, take a look at our surroundings, take a look at what's happening in the world. We'll definitely be experiencing some big changes. Okay. As we go forward, Mystic said, I got a question. When you pull up your chart, does it tell you current, or do you need to get software to check for every day? If you're doing it on Astro, and most of the free software where you can get your free chart, you can usually get the aspects or they're called transits. So if you're using Astro, it's just up in the upper right hand corner when you're looking at the chart at astro.com, and you just click include transits or add transits or something like that. They're called transits, and that will put the current planets on the outskirts of your circle, therefore showing us how you will be affected by the current transits. Remember, the transits are changing every day. The moon only stays in a sign every 2.5 days, so the moon is constantly affecting all of us, particularly if you have a Cancer sun, moon, or rising. You particularly will be affected by the moon every 2 days. And the void moon, and there's so much to it. There's a lot to it, and you can listen to our broadcast on Mondays where we talk about that. Oh, Mystic said, I found out my job got deleted. As mentioned, which is exactly what I predicted, right? Because I just now predicted that, you guys. I just now said that, and Mystic is now validating that. See that? That's what I'm saying. That's how accurate and detailed astrology is. Astrology, I didn't even look at their chart. I didn't even look. They just told me their rising sign, and that helped me figure out where Gemini was in their chart. And I knew that Gemini was at the top of their chart, which has to do with their career. Okay. That's how I guessed that. All right. All right. So Tawny's hoping for a spirit message. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but if you have a particular spirit you want to connect with, you want to ask that person. Okay. Just taking a look at the group. Okay. All right. Well, almost as if I'm not showing up in the group. Shoot. Okay. Anyway, anyway, as I mentioned, you can easily post your chart, or if you've ever seen me for a reading, I'll be happy to take a quick look and give you a quick heads up. I can't go into detail and stuff like that live. You got to get a reading for that, you guys. I mean, come on. Let's just be for real here. Okay. And that's me. I'm real. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm not going to feed you with a bunch of BS. I'm just not into it. Okay. So what I need from you is details, like exactly what you need to know, exactly. And I'll be more precise. The more precise you are, the more precise your answer will be. Okay. And so if you want a precise answer, I suggest you ask a precise question. All right. Okay. Just having a little technical issue. Having a little. We're having a little slow down. We're having a little bit of a problem. Okay. Just try to close some things. So welcome. I'm glad that you're all member to put it in, if you have any questions. I'm a longtime witch. I've been a witch since I was a teenager. I'm 50 years old, and you can feel free to ask any questions. Um, you can also ask for a reading, but like I said, specific questions get specific answers. Okay. So that's how we do things around here. So if you have a specific question, then I'm more likely to give you a specific answer. That's pretty much my rule. Okay. And I look forward to seeing y'all's questions as soon as my computer cooperates a little bit here. I'm trying to get it to cooperate. Please, to the spirits of technology, to the spirits on the other side, please help my computer function in a positive way. Thank you for answering my prayers. Thank you for being with me in this here and now. Thank you for helping me to see what needs to be done to make my computer run in a more efficient manner. Sorry for overloading you and overwhelming you. I'm definitely a busy kind of person. Okay? All right. So let's see. Now we're back. Okay. So, hey, Michelle. Good to see you. Good to see you. Possibly Mystic Road because Uranus is going to go backwards, but it'll be after September 6th. They might revisit their relationship with you. Kate Cat's Unique Journey said, "Hey, there it's oh my god, that black moon. I was at a reggae fest Friday and Saturday, Monday. I was at an off-grid hot spring in the Sierra Mountains. What was that I saw in the tubs? Was it the same being that woke me up a bunch of times and made me want to sit naked in my chair under the stars in the middle of the night? I think you should just do it, Kat. Maybe there's something that the moonlight has to give you. Maybe there's something, you have to, maybe there's something you have to discover. Hey, MB over on TikTok, welcome. I'm glad you're here. You're welcome to post any specific questions. I'll do my best to read it. I do astrology, mediumship, tarot, and things like that. Do little mini readings today. I'm glad you're here. So yes, Kat, I would say that that's because the black moon, it's a new moon, so it's meant to sort of reestablish your relationship. And the funny thing that you say that because it was in Virgo, and the hilarious part about that is like Virgo, here's a little secret about Virgo. Virgo is very connected to nature, and typically often Virgos like to be naked. Virgos enjoy being naked, particularly outside. It's just kind of a thing. It's not like kinky sexual thing. It's more like being connected to the more like being connected to nature type of thing. Okay. So like that kind of thing. All right. Hey Laura. Laura wants to know, Laura, I don't know much about I don't know your astrology, which is way more accurate, but let me tune into your guides that, since I don't have your chart. Is Laura going to move to Florida soon? Yes. Yes, Laura, you will move to Florida soon. Will it be before winter? Will it be before January? I think you're going to know when you're going to move before January. Okay? All right, but I'm not sure the move will actually happen until a little bit after that. Okay. And then Tani said, I would love to know if my dad has a message for me or any grandparents that have guidance. Okay. You got the thing off my website? Okay. All right, Tony. Did it have anything to do with the dragonfly that landed on me at the festival? Yeah, dragonflies are blessings. They help bring change. So, so that's pretty important for you. That's pretty important for you, Kat. I would say, especially, because you're being called by the spirit guides on the other side. That sounds like they're trying to get you to connect with nature and the stars and possibly the universe. So I would do what you're guided to do. And yes, I would say the dragonfly is directly related. Why am I scaring you, Mystic? Because I got it right. So I predicted it right and that scared you? Why is it scaring you? It's just an astrologer. It's basic astrology. Now you know why the Christians um banned astrology back during the Spanish Inquisition, because they would get mad because astrologers would, know something was going to happen, and then they would predict it, and then people would get scared. Mhm. Mhm. All right. Hi Alexandria. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Um okay, Tani. Great. You're gonna order one later. Okay, Lara. I'd love to tune in a little bit deeper about your Florida journey. It's definitely be in your astrology. If you know your birth date and time, particularly if you know the time, I'll be way more accurate. I'll be able to give you a date. Okay. Um, Planets in Transit by Robert Hand. I'm not sure what is this a book? I've never heard of it, Mystic. There could be a book named that. I mean, there's so many astrology books. I went to an astrology conference once, and I walked into like the book thing where you buy a book, and there were so many books. I was like, I had no idea there were so many astrology books. Like, I'm talking like hundreds of astrology books. I just couldn't believe it. It was just one after another. Hey Mock, welcome. Great to meet you. And the system they used was outdated. I'm assuming you mean Robert Hand's system. What system is that? I mean, Western astrology's been around for a long time. Makes me think about that. I'd have to get familiar with the book to be able to talk more about that. Maddie said, "Hey Hollis, I have a question to do with reincarnation." Great. Do elderly people, such as my great grandfather, for instance, do people that pass at an age like 90, do they reincarnate? And if they do or don't, where does the soul go for them? So all souls go to the other side, period. Okay, regardless of what they did, regardless of why they died, regardless of how old they were, whether they were an infant or they were 100. Okay, it doesn't matter. They all go to the other side. Now, there are different sort of dimensions to the other side, I would say, and some of them might transcend. Often, babies or angels, children that pass before they go through puberty, will often they'll be at the highest dimension. I would call it the highest dimension. And I'm not saying that it's better. I'm just trying to give you, it's more like a high note on a piano, right? It's more like, woo, right? Okay. And so they're a little bit higher vibrating. Angels are, I call those angels because they do kind of come across as angels. And they do come to me as kind of an angel, if that makes sense. And then, and then everybody else, people that are in their 90s or older people that die of sort of natural causes, that pass of sort of normal life circumstances. It's usually destined, right? It's usually like a Uranus return, or something like that, which happens about 80 to 90. Okay. And so once that starts to happen, then a lot of times people start to pass at some point. And when they pass, they often are reincarnated, but not always immediately. It depends. So with reincarnation, it really depends. And a lot of times, if you're connected to that spirit, and let's say it's your grandma dies, and for like 6 months, a year, you're very connected to her. And then all of a sudden, her energy shifts. It's probably because she's going to be reincarnated. But the fun thing is that even if a spirit is reincarnated, a lot of mediums agree that there's still a sort of imprint from their most recent life on the other side that you can connect with. So that energy is that energy, you're able to connect with them, they're able to bring messages, and they'll usually tell you that they reincarnated. and or they're being prepared to be reincarnated. That seems to be a process, by the way. And the spirit knows they're going to be reincarnated. They sometimes will wait for you, particularly if they had a soul contract or something like that. Some spirits that have some karma that they have to work out, they might need to wait for you. Or if you're taking turns in your soul contract with them, they might need to wait for you to pass and then you to be born first this time, something like that. Okay, Maddie. It really depends on the energy, on the spirit itself. And a lot of times a good medium, a reliable medium can tell you. If you come do a reading with me, I could connect to your great grandfather or anything like that, and I could tell you. Okay, even if they are reincarnated, I can get a message that they're reincarnated. Okay, and if they are reincarnated, they usually come into the same soul circle. They come into the, and it doesn't have to be blood related. Okay, that is not our soul. Our soul. Did you ever notice you were connected to some people that are not like necessarily blood related? That's because they're part of your soul circle. Okay, and so when someone's part of your soul circle, they'll be reborn in your circle. Okay, and you're going to change genders, you're going to change roles, you're going to change those kinds of things, experiences, because the soul's not going to come back and do the same thing. That would be silly, right? And so we usually come back and we do something a little bit different. Okay. Laura says she would love to hear from her dad. Laura's dad, are you here? Yes. He's showing me a pretty big hat. I'm trying to get a clear view of it, and I'm not sure if it's a cowboy hat or some sort of hat. Seems like a big deal. I think he's wearing a hat. He's also kidding around. So he's also joking around. He's making jokes. Is this your dad, Laura? Did your dad was he kind of a hat wearing guy and maybe kind of a kidder, kind of a joker? Has a little bit of a cowboy energy or something. I'm not sure what that's all about, but it seems to be in a joke, a kidding. He's joking around. Okay. Melissa said, "Hey everyone, I had an astrology reading with Hollis today, and it was so great. Thanks, Melissa. Thanks. They are so awesome at sharing their gifts. Here I am. I can't get enough. Oh, Melissa. Well, as I told you today, whew, that eclipse. We'll all be ready for that as that comes up for all of us, eh? All right. It was a blessing to speak to you today, Melissa. I'm honored to be your astrologer, your medium, your coach, or anything else that people decide to come to me with. I'm honored to do that for you. I've I've been through a lot in my life. I have been through some crap. Physical, mental, emotional, um that kind of thing, and I would say that like because I've been through so much, I have a lot of experience and a lot of resilience, and I can try to help you if you're having a hard time. Okay. If you're struggling, I can help you. Kat, yeah, I can see your comments. It's just that it's taking me a little while to get through it. There's a lot of people watching me right now, and I'm trying to bounce around and be fair. Okay. um, Okay, welcome over in the group. Great to see you all. I'm glad that you're commenting. Hey, Shawnee. Hey, Suzanne. Good to see you guys. Suzanne says her birthday's in September, so you're probably a Virgo, depending on what date. Shawnee says I'm a Leo Cancer. I'm worried about the 4th. I have court that day about my housing and APS. Yeah, yeah. I understand. I understand, Shawnee. I was going to take a look at your chart real quick since you've come to me for a reading before. I have no problems just taking a quick look since you got this little court date. And let me take a look for you. Shawnee is a double Leo. Plus, the thing is, Shawnee, is that you have Mercury in Virgo. So the eclipse is going to be in Pisces. So there could be a little bit of some things about that you don't want to talk about, or things that could make you uncomfortable or upset. I totally get it. But let me just say that don't assume you have the answer to the money thing right now. Okay, don't assume you have the answer. I want you. It's about the eighth house, which is where the eclipse is going to be, is about other people's money. So, is there something about other people's money that you need to handle? You know, was there something mishandled? Those kinds of things, you're going to want to resolve that before we get much past September 14th. Okay, because once Mars moves into Scorpio, if there was something that you did that was a little off, or maybe not as clear, you might want to mention that now. You might want to, try to deal with that sooner rather than later. If everything's clean and clear, then as long as you've just remember to take other people's perspectives into mind. You're double Leo, so it's real easy for you to only see your perspective. So just make sure you take a moment to understand other people's perspective. And on September the 4th, it's probably going to be a total eclipse. It's going to be a big change. It's going to be something big, something it yes, it could absolutely have to do with, for you, it could absolutely have to do with money. Okay. So I'm going to say that I would do as much as I can to have a backup plan to your backup plan. Okay. So I would do whatever you need to do to make sure that you stay in safe housing, which I think I made some suggestions to you before. And I know that I have to help you take a look at your little fundraiser. And I think that that's the best thing you could do, Shawnee. And I would make sure that you are clean and that you are spending money in the right way, because if you're not, as soon as Scorpio enters into the Mars enters into Scorpio, it will be revealed, and that won't be pretty, and it will hurt. Okay, so you want to make sure you're completely in integrity to the best of your ability, especially through this eclipse. Okay. Tammy, I am doing them. Can you please be a little bit more specific about that reading? It's a little bit better if I have a specific. I mean, I can do a generic reading, but then you're going to get a generic answer. And is that really what you want? It's probably not what you want. You probably want something specific. So you get a better reading when you ask a better question. Okay, this is what you'll learn from me. This pretty much applies anywhere. Let me just say, I know some readers are kind of funky about that, but I'm just saying, I think specific answers come with specific questions. All right, and I think that's what you got to do. Okay. Thanks, MB, for the heart. I appreciate that. Totally appreciate your little heart puff there. I appreciate that so much over in TikTok world. Okay, Tammy said, hi, I was told next year of the year or the year after I'd be purchasing my first home. And right now I'm not seeing this as possible. Do you also see this? Tammy, I would suggest an astrology reading for that. Do you have any Cancer placements? It's very possible, Tammy, especially now with the housing crisis, with the housing prices are crashing really fast. Okay, Suzanne, I would love a reading. My boyfriend is a Virgo. Okay, if you want, Suzanne, is something going on with your relationship? Something happening there? I have a sense that there's something about the relationship that's a little off right now, Suzanne. So I just want to say, if it's a little bit off, I want you to slowly wait through this eclipse season, which is most of September, I want you to listen in September. I want you to watch and be open to the new messages, to the new things that are coming up, because that will be incredibly important. Okay, Suzanne, like that will be so freaking important, because if you there's going to be a slow reveal about how he feels, about how you feel about him, and your whole relationship, and whatever you guys are struggling with, probably communication or something. I'm just going to say that there will be a slow reveal over the next month, and slowly it's going to be like, okay, it's going to be a slow reveal, and slowly you're going to come into an understanding about your relationship. All right, Suzanne. Tammy, Tammy, you're on the cusp. Okay, September 15th. You're not on the cusp. Well, a little bit, but mostly you're a Virgo. So, Tammy, knowing your birthday is not gonna. I need to know your time of birth. I need to know your place of birth. I have to do a whole astrology chart, or you can go to my website. You can look at the top here, and you can see that it says go to my website, divineandrogyne.com. You can always just search Hollis Taylor astrologer. You'll also find me that way, along with my reviews. And when you go to the website, and you go to the digital store, you want to go to the digital store. Okay. And when you go there, you'll have the option to purchase for just a few bucks a little thing that will tell you how to get a free chart, and how to get started reading it, and how to know your big three. It would be helpful if I knew your big three. Telling me your birthday kind of helps. It's better to know your sun, moon, and rising, because your rising is more of who you are anyway. Most of us grow into our rising sign, especially after the age of 30. Not necessarily, Shawnee. It doesn't mean things are going to go wrong. That is the wrong idea. That's not what I said. What I said was, I think you're making that assumption maybe because a lot of us that live with trauma, we make the assumption of bad things. We jump to conclusions. If something happens, we assume it's all bad. And sometimes bad things happen to people, bad things happen to me all the time. And it doesn't mean I'm a bad person. It's not like the universe is punishing you or something like that. That's a perspective of someone that's been through a lot of trauma. Instead, try to see it this way. The universe is molding you. It's evolving you. It's pushing you. And things are not going to be easy. They're never easy. Life is not easy. Okay? Life is not meant to be easy. It's meant to be hard. And you're meant to be resilient and overcome it. You're meant to lean into those moments, to lean into those experiences in a way that helps you grow, in a way that helps you evolve past what holds you back, past the things that aren't good for you, past your addictions, past your obsessions, past your negative thinking. And so that means that, sometimes when bad things happen, it doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. Sometimes when we think is a bad thing, it ends up being a good thing. And we're like, whoa, I thought that was terrible. But 6 months later, I'm realizing it was actually a really good thing. Okay. So you just have to kind of be open. And instead of freaking out and reacting to things, try watching, try witnessing, try just standing back and taking a look at things and being like, okay, I see what's happening right now. And how do I deal with this? It's not necessarily bad, Shawnee. An eclipse just means it's going to change. It's going to be completely different. So considering what you went through last week, it could be really awesome. So it's probably going to depend on the universe and how you're dealing with the universe these days. Hey, Jennifer. Jennifer said, I'm talking to a man who is really care about is me. I think he really cares about you and him going to work out. I'm an Aries and he's a Scorpio. Okay, Jennifer. Hard to say. I'd have to look at your synastry. Um, so when I tap into your guides, they actually tell me the same thing that I just said a little bit earlier, which is that there's a slow reveal. There's some things that you're gonna sort of discover this month, Jennifer. You're gonna discover some things this month. There's gonna be some sort of reveals. There's gonna be about like something that's gonna come up for you that you're gonna kind of be like, huh. Okay. So whatever that is, Jennifer, whatever that is, you're slowly going to become aware of it. And what I would say is wait till the end of September before you make any decisions. Okay. Especially once Mars moves into Scorpio, because that will, and Saturn and Neptune move apart from each other. Once that happens, Jennifer, it will really reveal what you need to know. Is Wednesday the 4th a good day? It actually is a good day. The eclipse is not always bad, Shawnee. I think I answered that question already. Suzanne says she's a Libra. Mars is in Libra right now. So, Suzanne, are you struggling with your temper? Frustrating? Is he a little bit frustrating to you a little bit right now, Suzanne? Um, Shawnee said, "Oh my God, as you are right, I had an epiphany about finances today when I was meditating. It happens. And it was exactly about putting everything in perspective in order and stop living in fight or flight with my finances and living like I should be like. Yep. My reality is now my stability. That's right. And that's how you create it, Shawnee. As long as you stay in that mindset and you don't do, stay away from drugs, alcohol, or any kind of addictions or anything like that. Just completely stay away from that. And you'll do better. Okay. And things will get better for you. I promise you they will. You might have to deal with a little bit of things coming at you because you've kind of, especially if you've been for, and this goes true for anyone that has ever struggled with any kind of addictions or anything like that. um when you put your life on pause for a long time and then you suddenly wake up and start making changes, sometimes there's a lot of things that got to come at you, and you just got to sort of get off that, get through that, and be resilient. Sue said off. Right. I'm not surprised to hear that, Suzanne. You should know that as a Libra, you probably bend too much, Suzanne. And with Mars there, you're probably a little passive aggressive right now. So you might want to be aware of that. I don't know what your other placements are. I'm just making a good guess based on the fact that you're a Libra. You're welcome, Tammy. Tammy said that she's going to go to the website. Good. Yeah, that's fine. Just, Tammy, I'm happy to, help you look a little deeper into things. I can help you navigate things. There's lots of reviews for me, both on Google, in the group that you're in, and even on Psychic Insights. That's my business, but also Divine Androgyne is also my website. Okay. And Beav is like. You're still doing that. Thank you so much, MB. You're gonna help me get some attention on here, huh? I'm a little behind on the TikTok world. I just kind of resisted it. Thank you so much for supporting me. I so deeply appreciate that. I'm just a little behind on the TikTok thing. I probably should have been on here a long time ago. The universe has been kind of pushing me to do it, and I just, I just haven't. It's silly. I don't know why. It's a little bit harder to go live on TikTok than it is to go on Facebook and Insta and, well, not Insta. Insta's a pain in the butt. But YouTube. And I like to just push a button and go live on several places at once. It's kind of my thing. All right. Tani said, Hollis, do you have any spells to curse? I don't curse people, Tani. I am the type of witch. Yeah. I was one. I was only one on for a long time from Fire Family. Yeah, that's what I thought you were from because you said you were from Vegas. Um, I yeah, the fire. I have done many fire circles. That's what MB was talking about. It's a fire circle. Some witches come together and dance around the fire all night long, or to the best of their ability, and we manifest better versions of ourselves. This is how we transform. This is how we use alchemy to change who we are. And sounds like my friend over here on TikTok is directly from that community. And I assume that MB, just because you said Vegas, and most of the people in Vegas that I know is because I danced in the middle of the desert, right? I don't know if you were there at that Samhain, um, that uh that Errol, when we did Errol's funeral. I'm not sure if you were there or not for that. It was a while ago, but that was Melissa Ree's friend. Okay, yeah, I think I remember you. And I don't know if you were there for that one. And so this was a one I'd love to tell this story. And with you here, it would be extra fun. So here I am. I'm a medium, right? Okay. I've been talking to spirits since I was a kid. And I have boundaries usually. And I didn't know Errol physically in the real world. Like, I never met this person, but she's kind of a well-known ish witch. Okay. A lot of people knew her. And she passed. She used to live in a wheelchair. She used to come to the fire circle. And apparently, from what I heard from other people, she used to go around the circle and sort of dance in her wheelchair. And she would channel and she would talk. And she was also kind of a little bit of a pot stirrer, right? So, okay, right. So, well, I was a little resistant to her spirit because I was like, I don't know. Like that, right? And the spirit came up to me while I was standing on the edge of the circle. And I didn't really know her that well, but I had heard some rumors, not some good, some bad, from all kinds of people. And her spirit came to me and was tapping me. And I was like, do I want to let you in? All right, I'll let you in. So I let her in. And she was like, could you please dance? Can I dance through you? Can I stand in you and dance through you around the fire one more time at my own funeral? And I was like, oh, sure, yeah, but no funny business. Okay, now this was back when I thought that spirits could be bad. Okay. um and actually, um anyway, she's taught me a lot, actually. So this is what happened. um I started dancing with her spirit on in the circle. And then she was like, hey, can you go get my staff? And it has this I go get her staff, and it's like drenched with all these things, all these witchy things, and it's got this little head on the top of it. And I'm like, all right, Errol, I'll dance with your little staff. And I told her sort of caregiver, friend, partner guy that I was going to take it. And he was like, sure, take it. And it's fine if you dance around the fire circle. I appreciate that. Because no one else was brave enough, I guess, to do that, because everybody's like kind of a little afraid of her because she was a little bit of a pot stirrer. And so I was like, okay, well, I can hold my boundaries with spirits because I've been a medium my whole life. And so I danced the circle, and she says, I want you to take the head off the top. There's like this little rubber witch's head thing off the top. It's real old looking. It's real crappy looking. And I want you to send that to Dave. And I was like, who? What? And she actually used his other name that she called him, which was Princess. And I was like, so I knew this guy back in Pennsylvania. I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada at the time, at a fire circle that she knew that used to take care of her years ago, years and years and years ago. And she just asked me to send it back to him because she said she owed it to him or something. I didn't really get what it was, and I was willing, and I was also willing to destroy it if he didn't want it. So so we were still friends at the time. So I called Princess from after the event, because, okay, so I took the staff back over to the caregiver, asked the caregiver, is it okay if I take this off? And he was like, sure, yeah, you can send that to Princess. It's probably only fair or something like that. And I was like, okay. So I took the little head, I put it in a box, contained it, a little bit of some protections, because at the time I still believe spirits would do bad things. Um, I love, okay, I know Princess. Yes. Uh-huh. And so I called Princess, and Princess was like, what? And he was a little mad at me. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. I didn't know, you know? And I was like, you know, but then he was like, no, you can send it to me. I was like, okay. But apparently I didn't know. And he just informed me when I was on the phone with him that she had promised it to him. And I was like, you did? And I was like, oh, well, she didn't say that. She just said that you would, and I was like, oh, Ariel's ex, not Princess, don't know him. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I don't know who Ariel's ex is. Um, so I was like, wow, okay. So I so so I sent it back. I put it in a box and I sent it to him back to Pennsylvania, because I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada. So I send it back to him. Um, by the way, I don't know, he made up some sort of story, and my ex probably told him some stories, which, is whatever. But maybe it was meant to happen. That's what Errol told me. And now Errol is one of my spirit guides and helps watch my back and things like that. But now I've come to understand that spirits aren't really bad and don't really curse you, and that kind of thing. You can easily rise above that if you just raise your vibration. And so it is complicated, and that's a whole nother conversation we can get into. But that's a fun story to tell. And I didn't know that she had promised this little head to him. But he was a little freaked out that her spirit had told me to send it back to him. I don't know what he did with it. None of my business. I sent it back to him, and he was willing to accept it. So I sent it to him. So, I would have threw it away. If he didn't, I would have burned it or something. So anyway, so that spirit became one of my spirit guides, because she also, I continued a relationship with her because I felt that the things that she offered me were good insights. And I also learned from her, along with lots of other, oh, George plays with you. Oh, okay. George is Errol's caregiver, and George knows exactly what happened. Actually, George knows this story, and you can send George a big love from Hollis. Okay, and Jessica, his new spouse. Okay, beautiful. I'd love to hear from George. Just tell George that big love on him, and and Errol sort of became a little bit of my spirit guide, because she helped me understand that even though when people are not so great here on earth, that when they cross over, their soul recognizes that what they did wrong, and they usually try to make it right. They usually try to do better, and they usually have some karmic contracts with people that maybe they did wrong. Maybe they owe those people some things, and they will try to guide you, but they don't want to scare you or upset you. So if they really abuse you or whatever, they'll stay way back, or they won't show their identity. But they will try to help you and send you good things. It's part of the karmic contract. And eventually they'll wait, and they'll have to be reborn, and they'll have to come back. Okay. So when people are imperfect, when they're here on earth, they do still go to the other side. And even if they were kind of a troublemaker, they're not likely to create that same sort of trouble, if you will, from the other side. Even though a lot of us have that belief system, I think that belief system comes from Christianity, actually. Yeah. So, it's something about Christianity that kind of creates that. Okay. So just so you know, spirits don't hurt people. All right. Um, Mock said, should I stick with the Sprinter van transportation industry? Should Mock stick with that van transportation? Mock, I get a very strong yes. Yes, you should. Maddie said, Hollis, I had a death chart reading with you not so long ago. I was wondering any messages from my baby Bodhi, who's passed with resonance. Okay. Okay, Maddie. Doug's energy towards me. I'm not sure what that means, Emily. Confused. Yes, it probably is your alien connection, Kat. Your DNA connection to the stars. Your clothing optional, hot spring naked is normal here. Yeah, exactly. So no worries about that, Kat. Okay. Mock, yes, stay there right now. It's good to know. I'm thinking about your Scorpio rising. So I'm trying to think about your career. So the top of your chart, your career there, if you're Scorp rising, is probably Cancer or Leo. Either way, Venus has just went across there. You might have had a little bit of a slowdown, but once Venus gets going, you it depends on like what else you have up there. If you happen to know where your Saturn is, especially since you're a Capricorn. Do you know where your Saturn is, Mock? Saturn looks like usually in most charts, it kind of looks like an H if you happen to have your chart. Kat said, but for real, I saw bright blue aura on myself and then saw blue light balls fly out of the water. Then I'm the night blue lights drew me out of sleep to watch the stars move. The dragonfly tried to lay an egg on me at the festival Friday, and I arrived at Hot Springs Saturday night, stayed till Monday afternoon. That's beautiful. Beautiful, Kat. That sounds beautiful experience. It sounds like you really had a great experience with the stars, and I would stay very open to I feel your Cat, I feel your star being. I think you know this. I'm not sure. I feel like you do. And I feel like there's something that the star beings are trying to call you to, and you might want to listen and respond to that. Okay. So spend a little more time under the stars and see if you can figure out what they're trying to tell you. Okay. Okay. Laura. So yeah, he wore hats. Yeah, he had a good sense of humor. Let me see if I still got a hold of him. He's trying to let you know that he's having a great time. He's having a great time over there, Lara. He's trying to let you know that he's like showing me like old Western movies, and like I feel like he's in like any movie he wants to be in. Does that make sense, Laura? You imagine any movie and he's in it like in a playful manner, like just having a good time, like role playing, like a role playing game. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, Maddie has a question. So hypothetically, someone middle-aged, less than 40, passes and they have learned all they needed to fix their wrongs, acknowledged everything, etc., and their reincarnation cycle is finished. Can that happen before, say, an elder on the family? Can one reach enlightenment before someone older? Yes. Yes. In fact, most babies that are miscarried or die before puberty are actually souls that just come in and have like one or two more things to teach. They might need to teach thank you over there on TikTok. She already left, but thank you. Big thank you to her. Let me say, Maddie, that what happens with angels is that when a person has a baby, right? Okay. let's say the baby passes. Let's say the baby is a stillborn. Okay, that's actually an angel. Interestingly enough, okay? So that's actually an angel that like maybe just needed to teach one or two or learn one or two more things, usually about love. I noticed with angels, it usually has something to do with a deeper level of love. And then that child is then dies, and the reason the child died is because they're actually an enlightened being. So the mother that lost the child is actually the mother that lost the child is actually more like, it's more like she's a mother to angels. So she's birthing angels. She's bringing that spirit in to finish its last reincarnation. So typically, honestly, most people that are most souls that are finishing their reincarnation, they come through and they become angels. Now, let me also add that at any time, an angel can decide to come back and be an angel here on earth. Maybe they have a mission, maybe they have a purpose. It's hard to say. It could be lots of reasons, and you just have to tap into that angel. So a lot of times when people get medium readings with me, especially if they ask, or if I have enough time, I can sometimes sense how many angels are around them, and this will have a lot to do with either children that they have lost, or their mothers have lost, or maybe their husband have lost. That these angels usually are kind of like guardian angels and protections around us. Okay. All right. Oh, okay. But looks like I'm seeing your comments now, Kat. Welcome. Welcome, Annie. Okay, Tawny. It doesn't matter whether you're here or on YouTube. It's just that I've given you a lot, and so I'm just trying to like spread the energy around a little bit. Okay. Um, Michelle's Leo with a Capricorn rising. Well, good news is, Michelle, is Venus is in Leo. So there could be some other elements to it, but I feel like this would be about relationships for you. How about your relationship with yourself? Michelle, how's that? How's your self-care? How's that going? I can see that there might be some self-care things going on for you this month. Okay? No, Tani, you didn't miss it yet. I didn't look at your chart yet. I haven't had time. Do my guides have a message for me? Do my guides have a message for me? Beth, I got a clear yes. I feel like this is a masculine energy for you, Beth. He wants you to know not to stress. No doubt the universe is unfolding exactly as it should, essentially. He's saying that what's happening is meant to happen and things are meant to change. Try to, like I said, like the guidance that I gave about, allowing things to reveal themselves, allowing yourself to discover things. Stay open-minded this month. Hi, Christy. Hi, Christy. I think we lived in the same neighborhood when we were growing up, eh? I was a weirdo back then, still a weirdo. Hey, Christy. I think I was known as Holly back then. I'm Hollis. Yep. Mm-hmm. I remember you, Christy. So yeah, and I hope you're sending prayers out for Deanna Cole. I'm sure you remember who she was. You can all send prayers out to her. She is working with some stuff in her brain right now, and she's having an experience around brain and possible brain tumors or not brain tumors. There's a lot going on there, so we just pray for clarity around that for her, and healing and clarity in her mind and brain. Okay. Yeah, just sending out some prayers for her. That's all, Christy. And since we both are here together collectively and we both know who she is, we can send her some love, eh? Right? We can send a little love. May Deanna experience clarity. All right. Um, All right. So Cat's a Leo, Taurus, Aries. I don't know which was which, but Cat, Saturn and Neptune are retrograde in Aries. They're gonna go back into Pisces for a little while, but Saturn will go in right before the eclipse. And Neptune is a little, I think it's in November. Okay. Yes, Tony, life is always full of ups and downs. Sarah, I do have your chart. Huh? Let me take a look. Sarah's had a reading with me before. If you've had a reading with me before, you'll know how accurate it is. I'm happy to take a look at your chart to help you navigate upcoming things. Let me just take a look there for you. Sarah, this eclipse might have a little bit to do with like money, other people's money, your values, things like that. I don't think it'll be super intense for you. Mostly just because you don't have a whole lot going on in Virgo and Pisces. You'll probably still feel it, but it won't be as intense as it will be for Virgos, if you get what I'm saying there. Okay. Or Pisces people. Okay. So just so you know, I don't think it will be terribly hard, but I will say Uranus is going to come back onto your Jupiter this winter, and that could bring some surprises, and we'd have to look a little deeper into that, but you should know that. Okay. It's going to turn around at the eclipse, and it won't actually reach there though until the fall. Okay. All right. Nikki said, does spirits, Nikki Griffiths wants to know, does spirit have any messages for me? Any messages for Nikki? Nikki. Spirit is I'm laughing because typically I prefer if you ask a specific question. Okay. Asking if you have any messages is very generic, so you're probably going to get a generic answer. My generic answer is yes, of course. Listen, go out under the moon, go out under the eclipse, lay in your room, listen with your heart and your soul to the messages that are coming through. Things are being revealed for you right now. Okay. Kieran said, I have a dark presence in my life. It's probably trauma. Kieran, it's probably trauma. Did you suffer childhood trauma? Were your parents abusive? Someone else abusive? Was there an absent parent? Something like that. That's what happened, Kieran. That's why you're feeling that dark presence. The dark presence is actually trauma that's asking to be released. Okay. People think it's a spirit or whatever, but that's an old way of thinking. We know that's not true. Spirits can't attach to us without our permission, and they wouldn't anyway. It's exhausting. So it's just kind of silly to think about it that way. Okay. Instead, I would think of it as trauma. Okay. And so something's happened to you when you were a kid, and you probably have to figure out a way to work it out. If you come see me, we'll work on that together. Okay. All right. Hey, JR. Good to see you. Welcome back. Hey, Melissa. I'll tell Brighthawk you said hello. I think you were just with us yesterday, eh? So, what does Pluto in Scorpio mean? Well, the good news is, so the thing about Pluto and Scorpio is that what you should know about that is, first of all, Pluto rules Scorpio. Okay. So a lot of people that were born that are millennials, born in the 90s, like I can't remember exactly what the years, it might be like actually 89 through like 95 or something like that. Or it's actually probably longer than that because Pluto takes 20 years in every sign. So it takes 20 years to transit a sign. So there's an entire generation of you born with Pluto and Scorpio. Okay. Now, typically, Pluto and Scorpio people, first of all, Scorpio tends to have a soft spot for people that are minorities. especially, queer people, people living with disabilities, people living in wheelchairs, anything like that. They're going to be sensitive for those people, first of all. And so that's one of the reasons why a lot of millennials are kind of like, hey, like, just leave queer people alone. Duh. Okay. That's why a lot of Pluto and Scorpio people are kind of like that. They're kind of like, why are we making this such a big deal? Okay. Because the older generations, and this is what kind of separates you, this is what you come to understand about generations, right? So there's like Pluto and Scorpio tends to be the millennial generation. Okay. Now, before that, Pluto was in Libra, which is my generation. Okay. And we tend to be like, I don't want to have too much conflict. Okay. So there's actually a part of us that has had to step up a little bit, especially since the BLM movement, right? So when the BLM movement started happening, which was led by millennials, we had to kind of step up. And my generation, Christy, you would be part of that generation. We kind of hesitate, but we want harmony. Generally, we want justice and harmony. We just don't want the conflict. So, but with Pluto there, we will push for that, especially if we have someone to stand beside. If we have someone to fight with, we're more likely to fight. Okay. And so that's Pluto in Scorpio is pretty much now for you in your personal chart. That's how it plays out as a generational thing. It has lots of other things too about change, about emotional intelligence. It's part of why we talk about narcissism now, because Pluto tends to rule things like power and control and things like that. And in Scorpio, it's very strong. So that's why your entire generation tends to talk about narcissism and trauma and those kinds of things, which is great. I'm a Scorpio rising. I totally love it. So I'm just saying that, like, JR, that's pretty much what it is. It's more of a generational thing. How it will apply in your personal life will have a lot to do with conversations it's in. So what lines are pointing to it, and also what house it's in. What piece of the pie on the circle chart is it in? JR's asking. I just explained what it is. Okay. What does Lilith mean in Capricorn? This is a very grounded sort of perspective about feminism from a very, and I'm assuming that Lilith is forward. I'm assuming it's not red or has a little red on it. A little R on it. If it's retrograde, it could mean a little bit different. Okay. But typically when it's forward in Capricorn, it would mean a little bit stubborn about feminism. It would mean that, like, you would put your head down and go forward. And so this will mean that you kind of like, like you kind of, when it comes to feminism, you feel strongly about it. It's part of the system. You want the system to recognize how women are, and how women's rights should be. Lilith in general represents feminism, female sexuality, because if you know who Lilith was, she was actually a goddess who, when God asked her to have Adam's babies, she kind of flipped him off and said no. So the Christians will call her a demon. I wouldn't call her that. I would just say that she was a powerful feminist goddess. Okay. No, Tony, I haven't done your reading. All right. Is Doug interested in me romantically? I'm not sure about that, Emily. I'm not sure he knows. I don't think he knows you well enough to know for sure. Okay. Oh, okay, Leo is midheaven. Okay, thanks for telling me that. Venus is just entered Leo like yesterday. So so that's probably yes. That's probably gonna bring some blessings your way, which is great, right? Like, I mean, you got some blessings coming your way, Ma, as far as your business goes. All right, you guys. Saturn's in Leo too. Mm, um, it depends on what the degree is and when Venus gets to that. Sometimes Saturn can kind of restrict money for a little while, but just wait until Venus moves off of there. You'll get it back. Okay. Like just try to be patient. You might have a little lull in business or something like that, but it will move on. Okay. So we're running out of time, you guys. I did my best to keep up with the comments, keep up with everybody's requests. I'm glad that you tuned in. I am here every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Um, and I am happy to try to do little readings for you or anything like that or answer your questions. I want to look at your chart. So remember, you can book with me at any time at my website, divineandrogyne.com. It's in the bio, it's up above. If you're on Facebook, if you're on Facebook or on where else am I? Okay, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or in the mediums group. If you take a look at that link right there, if you go there, I'll also put that in the comments. You can book with me directly. I'll be happy to help you out, help you get connected, help you sort out whatever you're going through. I'm happy to hold your hand for that. I've been through a lot of crap myself, and I totally understand it. I totally understand the struggle. I totally understand. I myself have been through a lot of childhood trauma. I've come through a lot of it. I'm very resilient. And I can help you through it to the best of my ability. I do use astrology in my coaching. I do often use astrology to help people through. So, uh, Samantha said, can I ask? I was wondering, with Saturn about to go retro into Pisces. Yep. But Saturn is retro in my chart. Okay. Good grief. It took me 4 times to type in my website into the page. Okay. Samantha said, can I ask? I was wondering, with Saturn about to go retro into Pisces, that's still my Saturn return. Yep. But Saturn is retro in my chart. Does that mean anything like make it smoother? It could, Samantha. Also sometimes what I find with people with Saturn retrograde is that their first Saturn returns, they might resist certain changes. And let me just say, you can resist them this time, but that means it's going to bite you twice as hard the second time. So don't resist changes that come to you now. It's best to accept them, to be open to them, and walk through with them. Okay? That's really, really important right now. Thank you, Christy. Thanks so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. Totally believe totally appreciate the hand in the hearts. Totally appreciate that gift. Okay, Samantha. So I think it's really super important for you to pay close attention to this one last thing, and just listen real hard. Don't resist change. Don't push it away. Do it anyway. Okay. You have a good night, Christy. Thanks for stopping in. It's great to have you. Yeah, just hang in there, Samantha. This is the last transit. Okay. This is the last transit, at least for another 30 years. Okay. So I welcome you to book at my website. Take a look. I am rebuilding the website, but it's still functional right now. I am a medium. I'm a psychic medium. I've been a witch since I was 13. I'm a mentor. I teach witchcraft. I am an astrologer. And I have reviews on Google. I have reviews on my page. I have reviews on Facebook. I have reviews in my mediums group. I have a mediums group with 35,000 people in it. If you'd like to join, just send me a message. I'll send you an invite. It's a very large group. And I'm happy to help you walk through anything that you might be going through right now. There is an eclipse on our way. So hang in there. Wait for the slow reveal. Do not assume you know everything right now, because you don't. Even if you think you know what it is, or you think you know the resolution to a problem, that's not necessarily true. Okay? So just hold on. Um and Tawny, oh, thank you, Tawny. I'm actually a they them, but thanks, Tawny. I appreciate that. Tony, I was trying to find your chart real quick. I'm gonna try to find that. Oh, there it is. All right. Why doesn't Facebook open the messenger very well? I don't know why I can't open that. Let me try a fresh page. Trying to open your message, Tawny. It's in a group message, and for some reason it won't open. I'm not sure why it won't open it though. Let me just chats. Tawny, stay in chat. Ah, now I got it, Tawny. Tawny, what were you asking about your chart? What do you want to know? I mean, I could spend hours talking about your chart, and I don't have hours right now. You have an Aries moon. You're an Aries rising. So that's a pretty big deal. It's a pretty big deal. You're going to have some big changes coming up, Tawny. No wonder you're anxious to talk to me. I would highly recommend a reading. Saturn and Neptune are turning around, going back into Pisces for you. They're going to move right over top. They're on top of your moon right now. No wonder you're so anxious and pushy with me right now. And then it's going to go back into Mars and Venus in your 12th house in Pisces. So that's money, relationships, love, that kind of thing. It's in the 12th house, so it could have a lot to do with like unseen things, unknown things, things to be revealed, especially as Saturn moves back there. And then they're all going to come through the 12th house, and eventually they're going to be on your rising in 2026 and onward. Could be a little bit of an intense experience for you. I would also say for this eclipse in particular, it's probably going to have a lot to do with relationships, love and relationships, or people that you know. It probably won't be super intense. Just you have some Pisces placements, but they're a little bit further from the eclipse. You'll probably experience it. You'll have something, and it'll probably be in relation to relationships. In particular, I'm going to say it's going to be about love and relationships, particularly romantic relationships, Tawny. Okay. So if there's something happened this weekend or Thursday or Friday with relationship, I would be paying attention to that. That's going to come up again during the eclipse this month. Well, I don't mean for it to sound scary. I'm just saying it's a lot. Okay. It's a lot. You got a lot going on. Okay. And I can help you navigate it. It's not, I don't mean for it to sound scary. I mean for it to sound like it's a lot more than I can go into in 5 minutes. Okay. All right, Tawny. I'll see you. I'll see you later then. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow when I'm fresh, because I'm going to bed now. But I appreciate all of you. And I think you can swear, actually, Tawny. What does Facebook ban you or something? I will warn my family they may need bail money for me. Why do they need bail money, Tawny? Oh, goodness. All right. So I'll look forward to that reading with you, Tawny, coming up. And I look forward to hearing from you. Good night, everyone. I appreciate you all tuning in. And remember, tomorrow night is Wednesday, but usually would be Sarah Red Crow. But she's I forget what she's doing. She's okay, but she's doing something. Oh, I think she went camping or something with her family. So she needed the night off, and I think I'm actually doing tomorrow night, and then Cheryl's gonna have Thursday and Friday night. it's a holiday in the United States. Sarah lives in Canada, but good for her to go camping. We all take turns going on little vacations. So I'll be live tomorrow night too, actually. So maybe you can catch me then. I look forward to seeing you then. Make sure you bring your questions, specific questions. Ask a specific question. You'll get a specific answer. And I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow night around 7 p.m. Mountain Time. And take care and allow things to be revealed. Allow.